please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Subtext 230105.7. Next on the chopping block is Subfleet Sympathizer Director Twerkator. I'm going to make him wiggle his booty until he drops, and if that fails, we'll use a Kalidas Assassin instead. Hello everyone, welcome to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we are going to start with the town of my birth, Crawley. Once I've finished telling you about why Crawley is featuring in the exhibition of stupid people, you're going to understand why I left Crawley at the age of 4. Crawley Town Football Club, currently in League 2, the EFL League 2, placed 20th out of 24. Not quite in the relegation zone, but close enough that one does have to wonder how long until they go under again. As far as teams go, they're not exactly League 1 worthy, they're never going to win League 2 to be honest. There are a few reasons why. For example, the former manager Matthew Etherington, who was fired after 34 days and 3 games in charge, sold their star striker. And no lie, when they hired him, Crawley Town announced this by highlighting his historic gambling addiction as evidence that he shared the owner's appetite for risk, and that this was a key reason for hiring him. The owners are crypto bros. Yeah, that's what they're called. I'm not even joking. It's cringe. But these same crypto bros aren't done. You see, while selling Tom Nichols, their literal star striker, they really did need him. I guess they're not getting Toby anytime soon from the Sidemen. They also put the entire squad on the transfer list. Some jokes just write themselves, and I can't be sure if they were trying to sell the team as NFTs, but accidentally put them on the wrong bloody transfer list. You mistook it for the one with the lazy monkeys, which even with it completely tanking would still make more money than Crawley Town Football Club does. The Red Devils aren't doing so well of late, because they've got another striker who's on loan at Colchester. Colchester are hardly doing any better either. They're 21st out of 24. Oh, and just because this tickles me to no end, Gillingham, who sit bottom of League 2, are the ones that bought Tom Nichols, the star striker. The investment group behind Crawley Town's ownership are called WAGMI United. WAGMI is an acronym for We Are All Gonna Make It, used by crypto community to build confidence and encourage the community to not lose hope. Why'd you buy Crawley Town then? You only took office in April of 2022. You're doing such stellar work right now. Just to add further to this, you've been in charge since April. You're halfway through the season. You've also gone through 4 managers. 4 managers for Crawley Town. This isn't a Premier League club where you lose 3 games and suddenly you have to retire from the industry. Yet it is treated as such by people who really don't seem to understand the game. One of the chairmans stepped into the dugout to be present for the defeat against Stevenage, because this individual, Preston Johnson, believes that he needs to apply a more direct hands-on role, because as is well known, Preston Johnson is an expert and smart when it comes to football. In a statement after, Preston Johnson said, "It's no secret that this season hasn't gone the way any of us who care about the club had hoped or expected. After a half season of consistently unacceptable results, it has become clear that significant changes are required to set things right, both on and off the pitch. That is why I have opted to fly back to the UK and take a more direct hands-on role during this crucial period." Adding, "It is imperative that we use these next 2 games to gather as much information about our current squad as possible to inform our actions in the transfer window. That includes selecting players who have received fewer opportunities in league contests to date. Blah 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 collaboration blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. You know bugger all about football, but you've got a team. You own a team. You've appointed a manager, but you've shown zero faith. You seem to think the only way to actually get anywhere is by constantly winning. But you don't grow develop by constantly winning. All you do is sit at the top of something. Crawley Town have consistently existed in League 2 for generations. Why? Because they're never going to get out of that. People who are devout fans of Crawley Town, I'm really sorry for what you are having to deal with, because the disarray you are going through, the inconsistency, and the fact that those in charge are refusing to even enter into the Supporters Alliance meetings yeah, because you need to, will undoubtedly be creating additional stresses for you as you watch your favoured team, the Red Devils, be dragged for inconsistent management brought on by idiots who don't know how to run a team. However, if the entire team does need to be sold off and a new team brought in, you may as well go with the crypto bros. It's not like the industry took an 80% hit last year and FTX did wonders for the industry's trust. I feel like the acronym for WAGMI is a tad ironic, considering there isn't much in the way of it when you consider your interpretation of how to manage a club. Also, you're not a player or a manager, get the feck out of a dugout. You do not belong there. So on this channel we've spoken about people like Dylan Mulvaney, who has gone through the whole process, was going through the process of womanhood. Many cringeworthy videos have come about because of this, for example, the bulge. Yeah, instead of the Barbie pocket, I believe was what Dylan called this. Collaborations with Jeffrey Marsh, a lot of which I feel, and had felt then when I made those videos, undermined what many people who are trans is trying to achieve. I got the point of trying to appear educational, relatable, but also trying to get those who are younger and feel confused about their gender identity to perhaps open up about it. I got the point. However, the execution of it came across as wrong. Well, it turns out there's more to this, and this is why we're doing it again. No, I'm not doing another bleeding response video yet, to Dylan anyway. No, instead we're going to a tweet from Ashley St. Clair. Mentally ill men claiming to be women are inserting frozen tomato paste into themselves to mimic a period. I am so sick of pretending like these people are normal. If you are unaware as to who Ashley St. Clair is, I'm going to link their Twitter down below along with an archived version that I didn't archive, by the way, but the pinned tweet of it is from 2019. Your child is not trans because he put on a dress or tried on makeup. My little brother used to eat grass as a kid, but my mum didn't call him a cow and send him to the slaughterhouse. She told him to cut the shit and stop eating grass. Be better parents. I guess if we're going by the logic of that claim, then I guess I'm not a dog when I was a child and ate a bonio because I was bloody hungry and we were poor. Accompanying the original tweet is an image, and that is where we're going to go next. I have no idea what the name of the platform is that these come from, so I cannot confirm the veracity, but the thing is, there is some dates on it going back to 2003. You see it on the right side? It's a tad concerning. But for the sake of it, we're going to look at what's on the left, the text that is, and try our best to understand it. So, taking my fem cycle to the next level by somebody. Hello ladies, Val Venus no doubt, thinking of taking my monthly fem cycle to the next level. I have regular monthly cycle every 28 days using pads and tampons and was wondering what others do to mimic flow and discharge. Gross topic for some I know, any advice would be great. Responses: frozen V8 popsicles you make with molds of bottled water from Walmart. Hope this helps. Reply: I take several corrector women's laxatives at the start of my period. This always leads to cramps, and you don't know exactly when they will occur. Sometimes they wake me up in the middle of the night. I've also had accidents in my pad when I did not make it to the toilet fast enough. To simulate the bloating, I drink lots of water. Keeps meat heading to the toilet very frequently. No. Where I have the opportunity to change my protection. Reply: I use Period Tracker Lite app on iPhone to mark the cycle. It warns one several days ahead of projected start, time enough to check supplies, have used tomato juice frozen cylindrical cubes as described above, sometimes just squirt some ketchup packs from fast food place onto pad for added sensation in panties. After Halloween, look for fake blood on discount wherever costumes are sold. I'm not going to deny, this stuff's a bit weird, but underneath the image from 2003, you have, that's for the tip, great idea. I use the same type of ice cube tray and frozen tomato juice to create my menstrual flow. Oh dear God. What is great about these is that I can control my flow rate by number of cylinders that I use. If only things were this simple, eh? Additional reply: they are so handy for that. I used to try tomato juice or red Gatorade enemas, but found I didn't get the results I was hoping for. I'm so elated to find other girls that enjoyed the very feminine part of our girly life. Jesus. I know this is a bit dated, and this is why I'm kind of intrigued at the same time that it had to be posted from so many years ago, these images being shared, that is. But I don't think this is, I don't know why you would want to simulate this. Maybe I can't fathom that part. It's not something I can understand. But there are two issues, obviously. One is how dated the post is. The second is that there are people who may well be doing this. Please don't. Okay, it to me is up there with Chris Chan piercing his taint and calling it his and or her vagina, clit, opening. Oh god. Over the festive period, we spoke a couple of times about Prime. Prime is a soft drink promoted by YouTubers Logan Paul and KSI. It finally reached certain supermarkets where it was then summarily out of stock. Aldi was one of the more notable promoters of this. And at their store in Crawley, yes, we've circled back, they entirely ran out 30 minutes after opening on Thursday morning, a week ago. 30 minutes. People were camping outside with their children because their children wanted these drinks that badly. This led to many people, many outlets, many stores limiting it to 1 bottle per customer. But even with those notices, these drinks were selling out soon after. The drink itself is 10% coconut water, electrolytes, B vitamins, BCAAs, 0 sugar or caffeine, and about 20 calories per bottle. This is what the manufacturers claim it to be. Asda had been fluctuating the price and were limiting it to 3 per customer, but they were selling out as well. Asda were getting into trouble for that, by the way, the fluctuating of prices, and there is still that retailer up to north who was charging through the teeth for bottles. We'll get to that in a moment because we've got another dumb parent who's done that as well. Aldi, though, have been fooled by the customers who got savvy and wise very quickly. So with the 1 bottle per customer, some have highlighted on a community and conversation Facebook group that some were attempting to open several Prime drink bottles because the customers in turn believed that opening it meant that they could then buy all the bottles and they'd already been opened. They were then summarily banned from buying any at all, which in turn led to some rather outraged parents on that Facebook group, one saying, "To the man in the Aldi this morning that thought it would be a good idea to load his basket with Prime drink, open them all thinking they would sell them to you as you'd open them, shame on you, swearing and abusing staff as there was a limit of 1 for each flavour per customer." No doubt his attempt would have been to then sell it, which is what people are doing at the moment, on eBay for extorted prices. I tend to agree with the majority of the parents who have spoken up about this in that Facebook group. This is just a, let's face it, overpriced, overhyped energy drink. That's what it is. It's a soft drink. There are many others out there that exist. If you're into soft drinks or energy drinks, I'm sure they're not going to be at the top of the ladder. They're just popular because of Logan Paul and KSI. No offense to the two of them, and I can't take the player because honestly the money they must be making from this right now, even with the stock being so low at present, must be phenomenal. And congratulations to them in that. So a parent decided to spend about £1,000 at the very shop Wakey Wines that we've spoken of before in Wakefield, 80-mile round trip from his home in Nottinghamshire, to go and spend £1,000 on Prime energy drinks at the Wakey Wines store. Here is a picture of the dipsticks with their Prime drinks. That is a lot of money for this. Now, no doubt you would have spent a bit more on other things, but at the same time, £1,000? Really? Now, being the super generous owner of the shop that he is, after spending £1,000 on energy drinks as a gift for his sons for Christmas, I can think of many other things you could have bought instead. The owner gave them a bag of sweets on the house, because it's not like the profit margin wasn't big enough that he could get away with it. KSI had put out a statement talking about how he was a bit surprised by the demand for this, and I think he was never going to win this, in the sense that I don't think he knew just how well received this would be with his young audience, and also how many would then take it to eBay and sell a crate of it for essentially $12,000, which is a bit much. I don't think he realised this would happen. This isn't like Calyx, who does his No Two Ways trainers, which I've owned a pair, they're very nice, where he does a limited run of each, and no more than that, and they always sell out. This is something that's become mainstream like Sidemen's XIX vodka, so when it takes a while to produce these drinks, they're going to fall behind. Additionally, there have been increased batches that have turned out quite poorly and had to be written off. This, in turn, while normal for many manufacturers, will undoubtedly harm the ability to get as much out there as possible, as quickly as possible, to maximize the revenue one can make while the popularity is still there. Because it's not going to keep on selling out forever. It's just going to keep going for a little while longer, I'm sure. I'm sure the shops are super excited about that.